everyone, welcome to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we're gonna mix it up just a little bit. We're not actually gonna go through a bag from beginning to end. We're actually going to build a part of a bag using old masks. That's right, we're almost out of the woods, guys. Oh my goodness, we're so close to being out of the woods, but I know for a lot of us, we have so many masks. I mean, this was obviously a big accessory for a very long time. And I have a ton of masks. These are pretty much all Disney masks. You guys know how much I love Disney. But we've got Halloween masks. We've got Star Wars masks. We've got Tiki Room masks. We've got so many masks. And while I am keeping a healthy supply of masks in the back closet just in case, because you never know, I have more masks than I know what to do with. And to be honest, I felt really bad just throwing these away. So we're going to reverse make them. You guys remember when we were getting all the scrap fabric and we were cutting them into rectangles and making a bunch of masks? Well, now we're going to undo it. We're going to cut these up, fuse them, turn them into little nice squares of fabric, and we're going to build something out of it. So I already made one, I'm calling it a mask bag. The pattern for this is the Peekaboo Beauty Bag from More Me Know. I already have a full tutorial going over how to make this bag, just like the main panel, the side panel, the structure. I have a whole tutorial, so I will leave that down in the description. But today, we're focused on the center. So you see this center here, that's made up of masks. See that? Same on the back, all masks. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna cut down some masks. We're gonna quilt them up in a little patchwork here, and then we're gonna add it onto this bag. Now, to go with kind of like the scrappy theme, I use scraps of vinyl as well. As you can see over here, there's like 2 cuts of vinyl here. So, for today's tutorial, I'm not going to use vinyl on the sides. For today's tutorial, I'm actually going to try playing with the Sublimation printer. So I printed off a couple designs. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see. They're pretty light colored. But I printed off a couple of these Sublimation designs. And I will have links for where I got these. I think they're from Auntie Tay, her membership. So I have a couple of these. And then on the front here, over the masks, I also found another SVG file on Auntie Tay that was adorable. So we're gonna put this on there. It says smile more. So we're gonna go on a bit of a field trip today during the tutorial. We're gonna start here in my studio. I'm gonna show you how we cut these up, how I interface them, how many layers there are actually in many of these. Some of these masks, like these ones here, are from Old Navy. And this is actually, I think, about 3 layers of the same fabric. So even if you have, I don't have another one here, but even if you got some of their masks with a print, it's 3 layers of the exact same print. So you got little snippets of fabric. And then we're gonna fuse them. We're going to kind of patchwork quilt them up. We're not quilting them, but we're gonna patchwork them together so we can cut down our main panels. Then we're going to take our sublimation paper and get this, guys, watch. We're going to fuse this on, wait for it. Here it is. We're gonna fuse this onto waterproof canvas. Yeah, we're gonna fuse our sublimation print on a waterproof canvas because you know what? Sublimation prints have to be fused onto polyester. You know what waterproof canvas is? 100% polyester. We're gonna see how this works out, and then we're gonna use that waterproof canvas as the side panels instead of vinyl. And then we'll also just use some regular waterproof canvas for the lining. So I'm excited about that because if that works out, I mean, I already tested it out once. I'll show you. So this is waterproof canvas with sublimation already on it. So that kind of means we can design our own waterproof canvas, which is a really, really exciting idea because I love using waterproof canvas on the exterior of my bags. So we're gonna have some fun with that. We're gonna fuse this on. We're gonna do that though all over at Studio B. So Studio B is my mom's house, upstairs at my mom's house. She has all the heat presses. So we're gonna use the heat press over there, fuse it all, then we're gonna come back over here to my studio and we're going to build the bag. Now I'm not gonna show you the full tutorial on building the bag today. It's really just about playing with this middle panel and then trying out the sublimation printer. So if you're interested in how to build this entire little pouch, including how to adjust the pattern just a bit so you have these little zipper ends, I will have the link for my tutorial down in the description. Okay, I think this is gonna be a fun one. This is more of a crafty one. It's not a full bag tutorial. It's like building a part of a bag, but we have a lot of masks. And I wanna tell you, you can do this with any bag. So I'm obviously using this pouch because this pouch is a nice smaller size. It's quick, it's easy, it comes together really fast. If you had a bigger bag, just piece a whole bunch of these together. I mean, that's all you have to do. You can use these for any bag, because really, it's just like a little patchwork piece of fabric. So if you're new to the OklaRoots YouTube channel, please consider clicking subscribe down below. If at any point you like this video, please give it a like. Any questions, comments, shout-outs, anything you want to say, leave them down in the comment section. I will have timestamps for every single part of this video down in the description of this video. There will also be little chapters down here at the bottom of the video, so you can just hover over those, click on the part you're interested in, and it'll take you straight there in the video. Okay, let's get started. So today we're gonna go from this, masks that are unused and unwanted, to this nice little squares of fabric, you can see out of all kinds of masks, to this, a quilted panel for a bag. Now, this is just so funny to me because I just remember going from this to this not that long ago. So the fact that we're gonna break down what we built to use it for I actually really love it. I love the idea of recycling these masks, but this is the process, so I'm gonna walk you through it. So the first thing you want to do is grab your masks. Now, all of these masks are essentially rectangles. I don't have any of the masks that have like the two fitted parts for the face. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are like angular like this. Now, you definitely can use those. I think I already cut down the masks I had that did do that and just cut this into a rectangle. But really, ideally, all we want to do is get this from the mask to a piece of fabric that is just a rectangle. So I'm going to grab just a couple of these. Let's start with this boo one. And I'm just going to cut the binding off of this. So I'm just gonna cut right along it. I'm not gonna, seam rip it, unpick it. It's sloppy, I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to keep, the seam allowance with these fabrics. I'm just trying to reuse what I can as easy as I can. So I'm just gonna cut the binding. So I cut those ear loop binding pieces off. Now I'm cutting the binding off the top and the bottom. And again, I don't mind sloppy cuts. It's okay. I will square this up later. So you can see this mask has the outer layer and then the back layer. So it's just a 2-layer mask. Let's look at a mask like this. This is an Old Navy mask. I'm just cutting off the binding. Most masks are made like this. When you buy them from a store, they have this little binding on the sides and on the top and bottom because it's quick and easy. And then you can see you can open it up and then cut off the top and bottom bindings. All right, and then you open this up. This actually has 3 layers of fabric, and they're all 3 the exact same fabric. And I found that to be true even with printed designs from Old Navy. So that's kind of fun, Okay, I'm just gonna do one more. Let's do little Grogu. Let's cut him down. Now, some masks are made out of like a cotton lycra, a jersey, and some masks are made out of more of a cotton woven. So these pink ones here, these are cotton wovens. They don't really have any stretch to them. This one here does have more stretch. It's like a spandex material. This Grogu one here is more of a cotton lycra, so it's stretchy, but it's kind of more fuzzy. It's not so slick like that one. So this one actually has 3. So what we've been doing, so in this case, see we have 3 here. We have been taking this piece here, using this for bags, and then these little pieces here, we actually use as like shop rags. So we use these with our machines when there's a lot of oil to kind of clean up the messes. These are just, instead of using paper towels, keep these white pieces and use them just as your shop rag. You can even wash them and reuse them if you want, or you can just use it until it's completely oiled up and gross and then just throw it away. But this is a really great way to reuse material that we probably have a lot of. All right, so I'm gonna put to the side these white pieces because like I said, I'm gonna use those for rags. I wanna keep the printed ones. Put that to the side. And here's the thing. So here's why I wanted to do this to begin with. These masks, they're cute, they're pieces of fabric, whatever. They were temporary, thank goodness, but they have a lot of memories with them, good or bad. This, for us, was a way of trying to make a difficult situation more happy, right? I think as parents, a lot of us were trying to do things like that. It was like, okay, this is totally foreign to us, this whole pandemic, the masks, everything, this is so unknown to us. We don't really know how to handle it, but we want to keep our kids in good spirits and we don't want them to be scared, so let's make it as fun as possible, right? So, like, I remember wearing this mask at Disney for last Halloween, We remember these masks. Some of these masks have a lot of memories with them. And I'm not ready to just throw it away. Like, I'm excited not to wear them anymore, but I'm not ready to just throw away the memories from that chapter that were actually good memories, right? Because even in dark times, we can have good memories. So this is where this stemmed from, where I'm not ready to let go of this just yet. So I'm going to put it on a bag to remind me, because again, it's one of those things, we talked about this from the very beginning. 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to look back on this whole year and a half that we experienced as a world, you know, and I don't know. We're never going to forget the bad stuff, but I think I really want to remember the good stuff too. And I think that these masks will bring a smile to my face and also make me cringe a little bit, but also bring a smile to my face. Okay, so once we have these all ready to go, here's the thing. If it's a cotton material like this and it doesn't have much stretch, you can just press this and use this as you would normal quilt cotton. This material here has some stretch to it. I do not like working with stretchy material in my bags. I especially do not like working with stretchy material when I'm creating a quilt block, right? When I'm piecing a bunch of pieces together, I need it to not be stretchy. So I'm going to press all these, and then I'm going to add a little bit of my Pellon SF101 to the back. This is just scraps. I encourage you to make this a very scrappy project. Make this a memory bag, okay? This is going to be fun. So we're going to get these nice and flat and then just press this onto the back of them. So that way they're nice and sturdy and they don't stretch, and we can work with them as a quilt block and then put it in a bag easily. Okay, so first things first, let's just give them a little press to get them nice and flat. These ones on the top aren't so bad. This one down here on the bottom, I'm gonna have to kind of finger press open because it has that accordion pleating on it. There we go. Just press it nice and flat. Remember, perfection is not the goal with this project. All right, next I'm just gonna grab pieces of scraps. Should be about big enough. And I'm just gonna fuse this woven interfacing to the back of my masks. And if you were doing a whole bunch of these masks, I would suggest just using a nice big piece of your interfacing, and I just like laid them all out together really close to each other and just fused them all at once. So I've got my masks fused. Now what I want to do is cut these down to usable rectangles. So I'm just going to grab a ruler and my rotary cutter, and I'm not even really measuring. I'm just trying to get as much of a rectangle out of this as possible. So I do not care if they are all the same size or not. I just want clean lines, clean rectangles. So I'm just making sure it's all straight, using grid marks to help with that. Here we go. And I'll chop this down. And there we go. Now we have a usable small cut of fabric to use in a bag. Or with patchwork, you can make a quilt out of these. You can make anything you want. So I'm going to continue that with our other two pieces here. Okay, so as you can see, we have 3 cuts here. I'm going to bring back in some cuts I already made, and now I'm just going to try to lay them out. So I have an idea of how big my rectangle is for this pattern. So I am just going to do it like this. There we go. So that will be my center. I like a kind of a cockeyed look to this, so I'll show you. Let's get this up here. I'm probably, I'll put him down here because I'm probably not going to be able to save him. And you can see I'm just kind of randomly throwing it all together. I'm not really worried. There we go. We're going to have some Christmas and some Halloween. Why not? There we go. So this should be big enough for my panel that I'm going to cut later. Like I said, I'm not going to cut it like this. I'm going to kind of cut it this, a little crooked. So now all I have to do is piece these together. So just like a quilt block, we're going to kind of separate this into sections. I'm going to take 2 pieces and I'm going to fold them together. Grab my clips and just clip them together. And if my order gets out of place as I'm building this, then that's just what happens. That's fine. I'm gonna have that boo in the center though, because that's a feature I really want. Okay, now I'm just gonna take these units to the sewing machine and sew along each clipped edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, once those are sewn together, now we just have to press the seams. So I don't really pay attention to which way I'm pressing my seams with this. This is, again, a pretty scrappy, just go with it kind of design. So I'm just gonna press them. Okay, so let's put this back where it goes. I think it was like this and this. And if some of these are not the same height, don't worry about it. Just sew them together, and then what we can do is we can trim down the edges before we sew the rows together, and it will be fine. I think I'm gonna do it like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna sew the 3rd mask onto each row. Again, depending on the pattern you're using, you might have to make this a much bigger piece. My suggestion is just get started, build a nice big piece, and then lay your pattern piece over it to see if it fits. And if you need to add more masks, then just kind of randomly like add the masks onto the sections that need it. Like make this, I just think it's cool to make this a really scrappy, just memory bag. I don't know, I just think this is cool. All right, let's go sew these together now at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And once again, let's just press these seams. Alrighty, here we go. Can I just tell you, I'm loving this little Grogu and red plaid combination here. I think that is fantastic. I love that. I need to do more of that. Okay, so here we go. So now we have our 3 rows, and all we have to do is just sew them together. Like I said, if you have a row that's pretty uneven, like bottom of this one is pretty uneven, all you have to do is grab your ruler, find yourself a nice straight line, take your rotary cutter, and then just slice it down so it's nice and straight. Don't overthink it. Don't worry too much about this. So I'm just gonna take the top row, kind of center it, lay it right sides together. You also might wanna grab your pattern piece and lay it over to make sure it's gonna fit. Yeah, that's gonna fit. All right, cool. So let's lay these right sides together and just clip along this edge. I'm going to clip the bottom edge as well at this time, but I'm going to make sure I move my panels out of the way as I'm sewing it. So you can see this edge right here gets pretty close. I don't want to accidentally sew it down like this. So I'm going to clip them on, but I'm going to make sure I move it before I sew. Okay, now we're going to sew along both of these edges, making sure we don't accidentally include the other side at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alrighty, now that it's all sewn together, all we have to do is press along that edge and then press it open. However is easiest. It does get pretty bulky here. To be honest, normally when I'm using a quilt block in a bag, I like to piece all the pieces together first and then add the woven interfacing. But since I have stretchy material here, I wanted to add the woven interfacing first. So that makes for bulkier seams. All right, so here's my panel, here's my pattern piece. All I have to do is kind of line it up, and I can trace this out on the back, or if you have measurements, just use your ruler and measure it out. And this is how it's gonna be. So you might wanna kind of finagle this and see which prints you wanna make sure you really get, which prints you're okay leaving. I'm just gonna go right in the center at a diagonal so I get a little bit of Grogu, I get the boo. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so here's where we're at. We had some masks, we cut them down, we turned them into nice little cuts of fabric, little rectangles that are interfaced with our woven interfacing, and now we have a couple of nice panels for our bag. So I'm very excited about this. So now we're gonna take these over to Studio B, and I'm going to attach a little heat transfer vinyl image to one of them. And then we're gonna also work on the side panels. So the side panels are gonna be made of waterproof canvas, but we're gonna try to heat some of this sublimation paper printed stuff off. So I just got a sublimation printer. I don't really understand it that well, but we're gonna try to fuse this onto some waterproof canvas and see if we can use that for the exterior of our bag. So let's go on a little field trip. Okay, we're over at Studio B where I have my 15 inch by 15 inch Ricoma heat press. I am going to press sublimation print onto waterproof canvas. So I have tested this out once before. It was good. So we're gonna try it out again. So I have my heat press set to 400 degrees. First thing I'm gonna do is just press this nice and flat. Now, waterproof canvas has like a sticky kind of plasticky side and then a cloth side. We want to make sure that sticky plasticky side does not touch that hot press. So it can touch the bottom here, but not the top. So the fabricy side is going to go up. I can pull this out, lay this on here just like that. I am using a Teflon sheet to protect my material. So I'm just going to lay that over it just like that. And right now I'm just pre-pressing. I'm just flattening it out, getting it nice and warmed up, and also getting all the moisture out of the material. Because from what I've read, with sublimation ink, you want to make sure your material is very dry. So I'm just going to set this for 15 seconds. There's a magnet that holds it down. Here we go. Okay, so that is nice and toasted now. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous putting the sublimation paper down on this when it's hot, because I feel like the ink could start bleeding, and as I'm getting it situated, it could, like, I don't know, we'll see. So I have my sublimation print here. So I just printed this off on sublimation paper using my Sawgrass SG-1000. I'll have a link for everything down below. I will have a more in-depth sublimation video coming out in the near future. Right now, we're just kind of playing with it. So I'm gonna lay it so that the print is down on top of that cloth side of my waterproof canvas. And now I have some heat tape on a giant dispenser. And I'm gonna tape this in place so it doesn't shift on me. Okay, so I have that taped down, and now I'm gonna grab my Teflon sheet and I'm gonna lay that over the back of my paper, okay? So I have waterproof canvas, right side up, paper, right side down, Teflon on top of it. And now I'm actually gonna let it go for 40 seconds. Remember, it's 400 degrees, and we're gonna go for 40 seconds. Sublimation needs the longer, I think. We'll see. So I'm gonna up it to 40. All right, now let's just see what happens. Kind of nervous. Okay, did that. I'm gonna pull it out. Oh, I hope this worked. Okay, I'm gonna take off the Teflon sheet, which is hot, hot, hot. Now I'm just gonna kind of quickly pull this up. I don't wanna like pull up the paper and then have it go back down, because then you have ghosting where the ink will then kind of double up. So we're just gonna try to just pull it all up. Oh, that looks really good. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, guys, this turned out so good. You guys. Oh my goodness. Look how cute that is. Look how vibrant that color is. That looks so good. You guys, we're gonna make our own waterproof canvas prints. This is amazing. Okay. So now I have another print, which got a little wrinkled. And this is a lighter, it's supposed to be more of a lighter print. It's a pastel color. So we're gonna do that again with another piece of waterproof canvas. So just the exact same method I just used. So I'm going to pre-press it for just 15 seconds. Okay, and then I'm just gonna let that cool for just a few seconds before I put the sublimation paper on it. So see, I don't know what I did different this time, because this is the print I did yesterday and this is the one I did today. It's the same print, just at a different scale, but it just worked a lot better today. I don't know what I did differently. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my sublimation print and just lay it down like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna grab my tape here and I'm just gonna tape this down. Because you think, oh, it's just flat and flat, why tape it? It moves. When you pull up that heat press, it can move. That's one of the tips I read too. So this heat press will automatically open up after the timer's done. I read don't do that. Hold it when you're doing sublimation, because as it kind of pops up, everything wobbles around, and then the ink from the sublimation paper will kind of move and you'll transfer it and have ghosting, and that's not a good look. All right, so I have that taped down. I'm gonna grab my Teflon sheet and put that down over it, and then just put it back in here, and I'm gonna set it again for 40 seconds. This is so exciting. We can make our own waterproof canvas. Waterproof canvas is usually always solid colors. Sometimes it has prints. This is really exciting, isn't it? I'm very excited about this. Okay. Let's see how this works. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna pull it out, take this off real quick. And then you wanna like quickly pull it up. You don't want it to take too much time. So I'm just gonna take one edge. Ooh, I pulled it up, put it down. Oh, it's so pretty. So I want to show you. I mean, this is a lighter view. This is the paper, and it's lighter than it was when I first showed you. But remember when I first showed you the paper? It was a light design anyways, which is what I've heard. Sublimation prints print light. But then here it is on the waterproof canvas, and it is much more vibrant, much more colorful. This is so much fun. Oh my goodness. So the next thing I'm gonna do before we head back to our sewing room is apply this SVG design to one of my panels. Now I don't think I'm gonna apply it to this one because it's gonna cover up my boo. I think I'm gonna apply it to this one, just like that. So to do that though, we have to reduce the heat. So we're gonna take it down to 305 degrees and let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll work on the heat transfer vinyl. Okay, so it's cooled down. Now what I'm going to do is just pre-press my panel. So this is the panel I'm going to be using. This is what it looks like. I just want to heat it up a little bit to get it as flat as possible. So I'm just going to press it down for about 10 seconds. Okay, something to remember with my design here is that this is going to have a boxed bottom, a pretty generous boxed bottom. So I'm going to lose a few inches here on the bottom. So when I'm centering my design, I'm going to center it more towards the top and just centered horizontally, but not vertically, right? I'm going to center it more towards the top here. Now, this is 3 cuts of heat transfer vinyl. So the very last cut I'll use is this glitter one. I read you always use glitter last. And the first one I'm going to use is this like background pink one. So I've got my text in white here. So that will be my second round. My first round is going to be this pink one here. And now what the trick I saw people doing is they tack it down. So instead of pressing this for the full like 15 to 20 seconds and then pressing the next one for the full few seconds, they've just put this down for a few seconds, just enough to get it heated up enough so that we can remove the plastic, but not so long that it's really set. We're going to do that for each one of these, and at the end, we'll really hold it down for a while and set it. We're going to see how that works. Okay, so let's first just do this one here. So I have to remember I'm going to be attaching a zipper to the top of this, so I don't want to get it too close to the top. I don't know if I need to cover this with Teflon, but I'm going to just in case. So I have a smaller cut of Teflon here. I'm just going to lay that over there, and I'm just going to hold it down for like 3 seconds. So I'm not even going to set this. I'm just going to hold it down. Right, and then I'm going to pick it back up. And we'll see if I can peel off that clear plastic. Okay, so I'm going to hold it down for longer because it's pulling up with the plastic. So I'm going to hold it down for a few more seconds. Okay, that's much better. So 10 seconds was much better. We'll see if we have a problem or not. So you can see I have the pink part. This is like the offset part. This is the background. I just like it because it makes the white stand out a little bit more. So now I'm just going to lay the white over the pink, line it up, and press it down. And I can add some tape if that's easier. I don't think I need to. This is sticky enough. And then I'm going to grab my Teflon again, cover it up. I'm going to do it for 10 seconds. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see if that's stuck. It did. Look at that. Alright, so here's where we are. It's looking good, right? Oh, I love this. Heat transfer vinyl is fun. Alright, so there's that. Ooh, now we're going to add some glitter, my favorite. So now I'm just going to overlay the glitter. And now the thing I've seen is you don't want the edges of this plastic here to kind of cut into the rest of your design. So that's why they say just hold down for a few seconds, just long enough to peel it off, but not long enough for these to cause a problem. So I don't know if I'm going to be that lucky. We'll see. I'm just going to lay it down. So I think this time I am just going to lay it down for like 3 seconds. Maybe. Oh, dang it. It locked on me. I didn't mean to do that. This dang magnet, it locks up on you and you can't get it off. Well, we'll see how this works. It wasn't too bad. It did cause some lines, so I need to fine-tune that more. I need to practice that more, but I'm still happy with it. It's for me, so here's what it looks like. How cute is that? It's got a little bit of the glitter here, but I will show you if you look closer. Can you see the line on the M right here? It's not that bad. After I'm using it for a while, it will not even be noticeable, but this looks so cool. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to combine this. All right, so now it's time to head back over to Studio A, Studio OklaRoots, and we're going to finish making the bag, and I'll show you what it looks like, and there we go. I hope that this was inspiring so far. Okay, so I finished up the bag. Are you ready to see it? It's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you. Look how adorable this is. And you know what? You know what I love about this heat transfer vinyl design? It says smile more. Because you don't have a mask on your face. People can see your smile again. But this is a reminder. This is a treasure of a bag. And let's just talk about that waterproof canvas. Do you want to see that closer? Look at that waterproof canvas. Isn't that just amazing? I feel like this is like a game changer idea right here. We're going to be able to design our own waterproof canvas with prints. I am so excited about that. So you can see I put my bag tag on the back here. I've got my boo, and then I've got Smile More on the front. I adore these bags. Now these bags, of course, I am going to be keeping because they're very personal. I mean, they're my masks. But I hope that this inspires you to do something creative with the tools that we had to use during a really challenging time for most of us. I think that's a discussion that a lot of us have had over the last year and a half here on the channel, in messages and emails, about trying to find light in a dark situation, right? And so we crafted and we sewed, and then when things got serious and we needed to help, we helped. And when things were hard, we talked about it and we helped each other. And I don't know. It was a crazy year and a half. It was just wild. And to think we're getting out of it, again, I want to remember the good stuff. I probably won't be able to forget all the bad stuff, but I really want to remember the good stuff. And this is one of those crafty ways for me to do that. I'm a sewer. I'm a scrappy sewer especially. So this is just, it's a treasure. It is a treasure. So let me know if you're doing crafts with your masks. I know that's a crazy thing. And like I said, I am keeping a healthy supply stored away, because if we've learned anything in 2020 and into 2021, it's, you never know what's going to happen. It's better to be prepared. You always should have a stockpile of toilet paper and a few masks waiting on the background, and maybe a case of like Clorox wipes too. Just those 3 things are probably things we should just always have, just like, you know, in a cabinet somewhere, just in case. So you can do all kinds of stuff with your masks. You can use them in panels of bags. You can make quilts out of them. You can make grocery totes out of them. There's a ton of stuff you can do with them. So if you're using your masks in some creative way, please let me know. I would love to know what you're doing with them. Just leave it down in the comment section down below. Or you can shoot me an email. I'm Jessica@OklaRoots.com. If you have photos, send them to me. If you post them on social media, make sure you tag me. I'm @OklaRoots over on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for sewing with me today, guys. I know this one's a little different. It wasn't a full bag tutorial. Once again, if you do want to watch the full tutorial of how to make this bag, including the adjustments that I make just to the zipper, make sure you check out that link in the description. I will have the link for it over there. This is a really fun, quick bag. Great for beginners. I mean, it's one of my favorites. And now it's even more one of my favorites. Look how happy that is. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Get out there and make something. Bye, guys.